I'm going to provide an example after a brief introduction of a note that is sustained for 13 seconds with all three unisons perfectly tuned to 0 cents. This picture shows what I call the myth of the swelling unison from the unison being spread. What happens on the blue line is the ideal drop-off that is linear in log magnitude, and the red line, or the red area, is the power envelope from the note being spread by about 1 cent in the unisons. So what happens is a 1 cent spread at A442 is 0.25 hertz, which has a period of 4 seconds. That means that half period is 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, the power level drops dramatically because of the cancellation of the spread. And then a power level comes back, but not all the way at the next half period of 4 seconds. Then the next half period would be 6 seconds, and you can see an even further drop off below the ideal power level on the blue line. So what you wind up getting is a bow, wow, wow, but it never comes back all the way. And what happens is that bloom and that rebounding is perceived as being sustain and bloom. In reality, it's nothing but the beat frequency of 4-second period. It's a psychoacoustical phenomenon that the piano tuner somehow likes, but that's not what is actually happening. You get less sustain, less power, and the bloom is nothing but rebounds of that period. I am an advocate that the unisons ought to be tuned perfectly with no spread, that it actually makes a longer sustain and a better sustain rather than a worse sustain. And I'm going to give an example on my Fazioli 308 of a C5 where all three unisons are tuned to 0.0 with piano scope and with the piano sense sensor centered right over the three strings. Each unison was tuned to 0.0 with this technique in a 700 millisecond time window on piano scope. And then when I unmute the three strings and play them together, you can see the Weinreich effect coming in at minus 0.2 cents on the attack. And about 2 seconds later, you can see the Weinreich drift gradually pulling up a little bit above 0. The note lasts for 13 seconds in this example, and I measured the power level after 13 seconds, and it was at least minus 40 dB or better, so that the sustain was extremely long and well enduring for that entire 13-second interval, and you could hear no beats, no wavering, no wandering whatsoever.